So we'll be starting with Sirish, Albizia lebbeck. This is the lebbeck tree, okay? And this is the bark that we use as the medicine. And it can become quite a substantial, quite a big tree. As we see in the tastes, it has kashaya and tikta as the primary taste and then ends with madhura. Kashaya being astringent and tikta being bitter. It is astringent and bitter, so that explains a lot of the anti-inflammatory properties. And the reason it being very well tolerated by most people is because at the end it is madhura, which means sweet. So that which is sweet is more easily tolerated. So it's not so harsh as a lot of other very drying, very astringent, very bitter herbs. It has a sweetness, it has a mildness to it. But it doesn't mean that it is not in any way effective. It is very effective despite it being mild. So, what are the effects or what are the therapeutic effects of Sirish? Sirish is first of all Tri-dosha hara. The benefit of Sirish is it is helpful in inflammation of all kinds of doshas. If it's a Vata dosha involved, if there's Pitta dosha involved or Kapha dosha involved, the benefit of Sirish is it is helpful in all kinds of situations. If you have any kind of inflammatory skin condition, and there is either Vata, Pitta, or Kapha dosha involved, or all three, Sirish is good to use. So it is a very well balanced herb, and I think that is also partially the reason why it is so well tolerated by most people, and that it is also even useful to use in children who are very sensitive to different kinds of things. Furthermore, we have to understand that it is primarily Shotahara, so it is anti-inflammatory and it reduces swelling or edema. So if you have a lot of fluid buildup in the body as a result of the inflammation, Sirish is a very helpful thing to use. It is Visarpa Hara. What is Visarpa? Visarpa is often translated as herpes, herpetic lesions. So herpes in the skin. But I believe that is an incorrect translation for this. Visarpa is better to translate as a spreading skin disease. So it's not only herpes. Herpes can be a form of Visarpa. So it will be helpful if someone has herpes. If someone has an active herpes, uh, an acute flaming up of herpes, then Sirish can help. But furthermore, it is not just for herpes. It is any kind of spreading skin disease. So that is what Visarpa actually means. If you have a skin disease, which in its nature has a tendency to spread all over to different parts of the body. To stop the spreading of a skin disease, Sirish is helpful. If you want to localize it, if you want to stop its spread, and you want to reduce it and bring it back to its point of origin and annihilate it and stop its spread, Sirish is helpful. That is why the astringent properties and the bitter qualities inherent in Sirish, they're good for that. It is Kasa Hara, Kasa meaning coughing, meaning bronchitis. It helps in the treatment of different forms of bronchitis. If someone is having inflammation in the lungs, it is a very helpful herb to take. And also in all kinds of chronic inflammatory conditions of the lungs, someone can take it. So any kind of inflammation in the lungs, it can be any kind of any kind of cause that will lead to irritation or pain or inflammation in the lungs. Sirish is very helpful to use. Vrana Hara. What is Vrana? Vrana means wound, a wound which is not healing properly. Any kind of wound in any part of the body which is not healing as well as it should, and there are chances that it may get infected and the immune system is working low, then we can use Sirish. It will help in the healing of the wound. It will reduce the chances of infection, and as long as one keeps the wound clean, of course, and it will lead to a quicker healing of any kind of wound, bleeding or non-bleeding in different parts of the body. So it has a wound healing capacity. It reduces wounds. So also helpful for people with diabetic foot or any kind of um, diabetic wounds. But the reason why wounds don't heal as well in diabetes, and the chance for infections are a lot higher in diabetes, leading sometimes to people losing parts of their body due to infection. The reason for that is their immune system is not working properly. So it's not only, this can not only occur in diabetes, but in any condition where someone's having um, chronic low immune function. In these conditions where infection is very dangerous and can happen very quickly, and wounds don't heal properly, Sirish is helpful. Then we look at the characteristic of Varnya. What does Varnya mean? Varnya is related to the skin complexion. It means that glowing skin, good quality skin, good looking skin, good color skin, that the skin looks healthy, that the skin looks good, that the skin is glowing. Sirish helps with the quality of skin, with the health of skin, the appearance of skin. It makes the skin look healthy and makes the skin look good. So anyone who's having a lot of blemishes, who's having a lot of irritation in the skin, whose skin is looking dull, and in these conditions where there's no glow, Sirish is helpful to use. So it has this aesthetic, cosmetic aspect to it as well, instead of only just being medicinal. Kushta Agna. Kushta Agna. Agna means killing. Kushta means any kind of skin disease. Traditionally, if you would translate Kushta, the translation of the Sanskrit word Kushta into English would be leprosy. Leprosy. So leprosy is a very archaic skin disease. We barely see it anymore in the developed world. We barely see it here in the West anymore. It is still it's still there. It's not that leprosy has been completely eradicated, but leprosy is really, I mean, some places in India you still have people with leprosy, but it is very much not so visible anymore. But it used to be a much bigger problem, leprosy. So Sirish helps to treat leprosy, and that means that what this means is that Sirish is helpful in infectious skin disease. Okay, so it will help in all kinds of infectious skin disease, any kind of skin lesions which may occur due to infections. Sirish helps to reduce the infection and helps to heal and treat the infectious skin disease. But like I said, when we look at the translation of Visarpa, Visarpa often being translated as herpes, the translation of Kushta often being only associated with the disease of leprosy, we have to look more widespread. Kushta was not only leprosy. Kushta does not only mean leprosy. Kushta means all kinds of infectious skin disease. But Kushta goes even further. The meaning of Kushta in general is um, Kushta is the appearance is it causes a certain kind of um, distress in people who are looking at affected skin. Kushta is basically someone is suffering from a illness which causes distress in onlookers. So it basically means any kind of skin disease which could cause distress to people looking at it and fear. So it can be infectious skin disease. It can be infectious skin disease like something like leprosy. Leprosy has been universally feared by different populations uh, for centuries, for thousands of years even. But when we look at kushta and the meaning of kushta, it can mean any kind of skin disease. The benefit of Sirish is this is helpful in any kind of skin disease. If you don't know what to do and there's a skin disease, you can't really go wrong with using Sirish. It will be helpful for any kind of inflammatory skin disease, infectious skin disease, autoimmune skin disease, if it's eczema, if it's psoriasis, if it's vitiligo. And Ayurveda says there are uncountable skin diseases. The skin diseases that we know today are not the only ones. There are skin diseases which have no name, which are not yet known by the science of dermatology. And how do you treat those unknown skin diseases? Sirish can be used in all diseases affecting the skin. That's the benefit of Sirish. Kandugna. Kandu means to itch, pruritus, itching, any kind of itching. So it can be itching either due to a infectious skin disease, if there's a external infectious agent which has nestled in the skin, Sirish is good to use. But what if the skin itching is caused by something else? If it's caused by toxin buildup, if it's caused by a bad kidney function, if it's caused by excessive urea in the skin as a result of renal failure, if it's caused by dry skin, any kind of itching, whatever the cause may be, Sirish can be helpful in all these conditions. Regardless of cause, Sirish will be helpful in reducing itching sensation in the skin. Tvaka dosha hara. Tvaka means skin, dosha means fault, hara means to combat or reduce. Any kind of fault in the skin, any kind of mistake in the skin, it cannot, maybe it's not a proper skin disease, but it's just something is wrong with the skin. The skin is not functioning as it should. Any kind of physiological mistake in the skin, whatever it may be, you can use Sirish. And last but not least, we have Shwasa Hara. What does Shwasa Hara mean? Shwasa is asthma. It is bronchial asthma. So the treatment of bronchial asthma can be done with Sirish. Okay. Furthermore, in classical Ayurveda, we have used Sirish as a Visha Agna. Visha means toxin or poison. In traditional Ayurveda, Sirish has always been used as a anti-poison, as a antidote to poison. So any kind of poisons in the body, Sirish was used to reduce its effects.